Hi everyone, my name is Josh and I'm a photographer based out of Petoskey, Michigan, and today we're going to be going over the exposure triangle. The first question we have to ask ourselves is, what is the exposure triangle? The exposure triangle is a combination of aperture, ISO, and shutter speed working together to create the overall exposure of an image. Now, this doesn't mean that you have to create an image to a certain exposure. This can be used to creatively challenge yourself to make images that you want to, that generate the feelings and the emotions that you want to put out there. First, we're going to talk about aperture. Aperture is simply the inner workings of your lens opening and closing to create a bigger or smaller hole for light to enter and reach the sensor of your camera. Aperture can be used to create blurry backgrounds or stunning landscapes. Now, counterintuitively to what you might think, a smaller number, like f2.8 on your aperture, is actually a larger aperture, and so you'll be letting more light in to reach your sensor. f4 will give you the blurry backgrounds that you see in a lot of portrait pictures. If you're looking at something like a landscape, you're likely going to be at an f11 or f13. This will create a smaller opening for light to reach the sensor of your camera, but it will give you a larger depth of field, so you'll have more in focus. Now we're going to be talking about shutter speed. Shutter speed is what I believe to be the most self-explanatory part of the exposure triangle. It's simply how fast or how slow your shutter is moving to capture an image. Now, if you're going to be shooting things like sports, you're likely going to want to go with the faster shutter speed, maybe even up to 1/1000th or 1/800th. This will result in less light reaching your sensor, but you'll be able to freeze motion. On the other side of the spectrum, if you went with something like 1/40th, you're going to be letting more light in, but you can capture slower moving subjects while letting light in and balancing your exposure triangle, or you can start to mess around with things like light painting or motion blur. If you want to go to the extreme, you can even use seconds and go 5 seconds and create amazing, stunning light painting images. Last, we're going to talk about ISO. Think of ISO as turning the gain up on an amp for a guitar. The higher you turn it up, the more sensitive your sensor will be to light, so you can capture images in lower light conditions. However, the higher your ISO goes, the higher chance you have of introducing noise into your image. This can lower the quality of your image, making it unusable or not up to your standards. I hope this information could help somebody in their photographic journey. And remember to get out there, capture, share, and connect.